Back home now, New South Wales Treasurer Dominic Perrottet has called for restrictions on weddings to be eased and brought in line with other hospitality venues. Mr Perrottet has backed the call for large venue operators seeking an increase on COVID-safe celebrations and larger fines for people breaking the rules. Weddings and funerals in Greater Sydney are capped at 100 people under the 4 square metre rule. Hospitality venues, though, are capped at 300. To talk more on this, I'm now joined by CEO of Navarra Venues, Sal Navarra, whose company owns a number of wedding venues across Sydney. Good afternoon to you, Sal.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
Sal, I wish we weren't talking about this. As it stands today, tell me, off the back of the last 12 months, essentially, that you've endured, how is your business today?
Look, Julie, it's suffering, but forget about the business. This is more about, as you would know and I would know, it's the brides and grooms. You know, they've hit another wall again where you've had more mental strain. You've had brides just ringing up crying. You know, they've transferred or they've postponed their wedding probably 4 to 5 times, and then to get news again that it's capped at 100, it's just devastating for them. It's to a lot of different people, and I just think. You know, it wasn't warranted to this level, and that's where we're at the moment. It's
worth noting that in the last 10 months there's not been one COVID case that we are aware of that has come from a function centre, and as you pointed out to me earlier, restaurants can have up to 3 people indoors, and there is much larger chance of COVID cases there.
Well, Julie, can I question one thing? I'll say this to the Department of Health. I would love to know how they come up with having 10,000 people at the cricket, able to have a restaurant that can have up to 300 people and the 1 in the 4 square metre rule. Bondi Beach the other night, and look, God love them, and they all wanted to go out and everything, and then call a wedding up to 100 people unsafe. I'd really like to question the Department of Health and come back at us and say, tell me where. Show me their findings, tell me how it is, when you got, like I said, in the last 10 months there's not been one COVID case from a function centre, where, with respect, there's been more coming out from restaurants and not us.
When a state government announces changes and restrictions, as we know, they come into effect within a matter of hours. Weddings are months and for some people years of preparations, tens of thousands of dollars of hard-earned cash that's taken so long to get them there in the first place. To be honest, I'm sick of hearing that it's just another day and to just get on with it. It's not just a case of scrapping a few people off a list, is it?
No, because at the end of the day, coming back to the question again to the Department of Health and to everybody, it's more of saying to them, well, you know, a wedding is not something that can be done overnight. A wedding does take up to 6 to 8 months, sometimes a year. At the same time, you've got, this is not just in the wedding industry, it's creating a scare towards the whole events industry, where you've got, like you said, invitations have got to go out. Then, you know, there's the cake, the florist. You know, 2 weeks ago we got an announcement that would change within 11 hours that we had, say, 14 weddings about to start of minimum 200 to 300 people. They got notified within 11 hours that they had to go back to 100, which has caused now a scare, a pandemic to a lot of the events in the brides industry. So that's where we're at the moment.
How did you feel when you saw the cricket go ahead? Because I wasn't thrilled as someone who's planning a wedding and rescheduling weddings.
And look, I would say this. I really strongly advise. Look, first of all, I want to say to Gladys, I think to our Premier, she's doing a great job. She's keeping everybody safe, and to the whole government, to the police force and everybody. But I really strongly urge to all the ministers to really think about what's happening at the moment. My proposal to everybody would be saying, raise the fines, make the fines $50,000 to $100,000, implement a task force to go around all the venues, because we have proven, and we can still keep on proving, that we are safe, we are following every rule, because all we want to do is give the brides their dreams, which they've been dreaming about from a young age. At the same time, is giving the wedding that dream for, not be subject to a number due to Department of Health put in there.
And it's not just about brides either. This is a huge industry. This is a I suspect, billion-dollar industry. So it's not just about one.
3.3 billion.
There you go, 3.3 billion. It's a huge, huge industry. So what would you say to the state government? Bring them to the table. If you can sit down and have a discussion, what would you like to see? What changes made?
So I would actually say to the government, tell me what you need, tell me what needs to be done. We will follow every rule, And we will do it because that's what he's done. If they've done that with restaurants, they've done that with they've done that to make the cricket go ahead. They must have had some form there of how they were going to run it. We will do the same thing. People deserve to have their event. People deserve to have their special day. Just to give you a note, look, I have my mother, which is stage 6 dementia, which is pretty bad. And we follow Dementia Australia and we do our own event. We have a Navarra Care Foundation. And we've postponed this charity event 3 times. And it's very necessary, you know, funds need to be raised in order to help this disease. With this COVID scare, it's just become more of in the events industry that people don't even want to come to events, especially as the announcement that she made on the 1st of January or the 2nd of January, it did scare everybody, and which would take us probably up to 6 months to recover again. But the biggest thing, Julie, is where's the end date? This is the biggest issue that we have, is there's no end date. 1 minute we went from 300, we went to 500, we went to 1 in 2, to 1 in 4, to overnight with 11 hours notice, went back to 1 in 4, indoor and outdoor for 100 people cap. That's where we're at the moment. And I think everybody's fed up and had enough, and they just want clarity. They just want an end date. Please, that's why give us the rules that you need, give us the tools that you want us to follow, and we will do it.
Sal, just quickly before I let you go, have you had any correspondence with anyone at a state government level about this?
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. And look, they're all being great. They're all being great, but I think the only people that we haven't spoken to is Department of Health. And that's where our angle is, to try and make them sit down with us and let's come up with an idea and how we can prove to them that we are deemed safe, which we are deemed safe. We are very safe, probably more than anybody else, because we are controlled, we're large rooms, we've got temperature control, we've got signing, we've got government signing, our own signing, we do temperature checks. I don't think many people do that, but we have decided to keep that in all our venues, and we're part of a venue coalition that all of us are doing it, because we cannot afford to keep on going this way and have really just uncertainty for the next couple of months.
Absolutely. Well said, Sal. Thank you very much for your time. I hope to see you on a much sunnier day where one day we can be there at La Montage with you and celebrating something, that's for sure.
God bless you, Julie, and thank you so much for this interview.
Thanks, Sal.